right? Go track the same stars and go to any one of these observatory websites and see, or line it up and see if it's the same at the same space where you get it from yours. And
That is,
maybe, just maybe, if you looking up at the night sky and you don't believe what you see in the night sky is the night sky too, then you can have a different conversation on that too. I'm just saying, it's
yeah,
always
correct.
some way where we can take some shit that's mystified and demystify it through STEM. There's quantifiable shit that you can do, research, controls, experiments, everything. So these things are not foreign to us as melanated people already. It's not. It's just the fact that we're trusting their images because that's all we got because we ain't got nothing. And but we
Hmm.
know these stars are there. We know if we look up in the night sky, we can see them. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a telescope, you can see it a lot better, a lot clearer. You can track shit. Maybe if you believe you looking in outer space, like I said, so everything can come into question. Are they controlling what we're seeing? Are we living in something like a Resident Evil type biosphere dome?
And
You know what I mean?
assimilation.
So yeah, yeah. So you can go deep down the rabbit hole of everything to a what if standpoint, but at some stuff you can quantify to a certain point where you can get more than one, two, three people to now see or agree in the control of the data. They're either gonna go one way or another, or some gonna be in between.
And that is what most people don't want to do. Most people, you sit here and have a conversation. I believe all of us in here went to school, and we one way or another learn about civics, but not everybody retained their civics information. Some some of us still remember civics because we care for it. Some of us, we couldn't wait to get the fuck out of school. We don't want to talk about civics anymore, and that's majority of us. And that put us at a disadvantage if we're not learning, because those information are subjected to change. So what happened is you start trusting in other people outside of you. It's the same concept as religion. Before religion arrived, we trust in ourselves. We trust the God within. But after religion, we trust an entity outside ourselves more than we trust in our own observation. That's what it's about.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I get, you know, no doubt, man. But like I said, sometimes, it just takes, just time out to sit down and let's okay, let's let's see if it's facts. We got
right.
enough people, enough money, enough everything to sit down together and come up with an ideal or plan to prove it, or say, hey, yay or nay. It's just a matter of getting us to agree to even do it and undertake it without going at it about undertaking it. Once the process get underway, it becomes something like an experiment, a class experiment, and everybody. Then everybody jump in like, hey, what y'all doing, man? Hey, y'all wait, man, you can't do this, you can't do this. It builds, the study grows. Then you probably have to cut it off because too many people want to jump in and get more stuff. So you got to continue. So either way, I just say like, when sometimes, just like, I hear people say sometimes you got to go visit these places. Sometimes if you can afford it, you can uh do so. Get out there, because ain't nothing like touching one of them big ass 600-ton motherfucking megalithic statues and anything else that's out there. Ain't nothing like being there taking a picture with that artifact you always wanted to see, that you Google so much on the internet. Ain't nothing like that feeling because that's a connection to you, maybe in your past life, because your DNA is older than a motherfucker. This is just another copy of you right now in a span of time. So bask in it, baby. Enjoy it.
We have we have we have
I
museum
agree.
with fake ass dinosaur fossils. People go visit all the time.
Yeah, but we
Shit.
we past that now these days.
Or
Like
fake
most of us, we
or the
know
fake
that when it
dinosaur.
comes to the dinosaurs, I'm gonna just say, I was a kid in a candy store when I went to the Louvre. Like I couldn't wait because my first time I couldn't go, but when I did go the next time, I couldn't wait. That was like I've been to so many museums. Like for real, I agree, Jeff. And you got to make that sacrifice too when traveling. Sometimes people want to live in. Oh, I want to go there and live, and I will stay up in the Four Seasons. Nah, sometimes you got to stay in that hostel because you get to meet and cross paths with a lot of different people that you would have never thought that you were going to cross paths with, and find some invaluable information and make connections.
Napa
Well,
said,
Yeah,
"Who's saying dinosaurs aren't real?"
Napa, you
What'd
still
you say,
believe
voice? My
dinosaurs
bad.
real?
I don't believe. I know they're real. I know that they were real at one point. There's large reptiles. Large reptiles once existed, as well as large mammals and all kind of other creatures that no longer exist today. Saber-tooth tiger, woolly mammoths, different versions of whales, whales with legs, whales that were
Yeah.
land animals at one point, and it went back into the ocean. Yeah, yeah, I believe dinosaurs existed.
Like
What
Jesus
about the
on the
T
way to
Rex?
Yeah,
No, hold
Jesus,
on.
you
The
can't
T
compare religion
which
to
no, it's
dinosaurs, bro.
multiple dinosaurs. Let's which dinosaurs
I don't,
existed and which ones didn't.
I don't,
Now we
I don't
talking
know.
T
That's
Rex.
the problem. That's the problem. Based off of
Then they-
fa-
I believe in
quote unquote
dinosaurs until they
the
start
whole
telling me that
argument. I was just,
they, they
if
don't
the
think
whole
the
What's
argument is
up?
dinosaurs
based off,
really look like that
Wait a
anymore.
minute.
I'm like, all right.
Hello.
I've been
Wait a
talking about
okay,
minute.
so
Let's
Voice.
go.
Let voice go.
I was
Let's
just saying,
go.
I'm
We
like,
going to the
if the whole existence of dinosaurs is based off fossils found, and we know people can fake those, so
yeah.
I don't know.
And
Up until this point, yes. Remember, information is subject to change. So now it's changing, saying that this isn't the look of the dinosaur, or this isn't the way this. Okay, so
Hmm.
what else has
Hmm.
been wrong yet? What other
Exactly.
implications by you finding this one thing wrong? This one thing wrong being the phenotype of this dinosaur, how it looks, how it's structured. This is off. So what else is this point another fallacy in your research? I have to look at that.
is
That ain't
there
me necessarily. So
is there a scientist on this panel here? Is there somebody on this panel here that definitely has the facts
I
of
am a
that?
self-proclaimed scientist. Yes.
Everybody in here is a
Oh my
scientist.
goodness.
Scientist means observation.
yeah.
Everybody that
No, I
got
just
eyes
no.
can
I'm not.
observe.
I am not making fun. I'm not poking. Not joking. I want to know the facts. I mean, is there a science self-proclaimed? That's kind of deep right there.
No,
No,
You're
no
there's
self-proclaimed.
self-proclaimed. Yeah,
there's no
yes.
scientist.
I will
okay,
answer
let's
that
put it
question
this
for
way.
you.
We are
The
all
word is
scientists,
yes.
man.
Yes,
The
I'm a
word is
scientist.
yes. Yes. Yes.
What's the
I have
problem? A data
yes. What's
scientist.
the problem?
How about that?
So this self. No, I
I'm
am
not
not.
a
I am not
scientist.
knocking nobody's nothing right here. I'm
Thank
just trying to
y'all for
find
y'all
out.
answers.
Just
I
That's
like
what's
answered
up.
your
That's what's up.
question. I
We
said
all
yes.
that's
What's
right.
up?
and
That's
you're a
right.
scientist in what
Yes,
Well,
we're
field?
I
In
scientists,
said
Travis. Ask
I
the
said
question.
yes. What's up?
yeah, she answered the question, yes. And I'm asking the question again, like in what field are you a proclaimed self-scientist of?
But we can't.
I'm
First
not
off, first and
Life,
foremost,
self-proclaimed. You gotta.
life.
let's be
I'm not
respectful. Let's be
self-proclaimed.
respectful.
I am being
Let's be
respectful. I am
respectful.
being,
No, you're
and I'm
not.
only
No, you're
asking the
not.
question.
No, you're not. Because you're only
I'm
asking a question after
listen.
I
I just
presented
came in on
one.
a conversation, so
After,
I'm asking
okay,
questions.
if you just came in on the conversation, then my question takes
Yeah,
precedent, right?
put your socks on. Put these socks on.
And your question is,
I mean,
My
dinosaurs are
question is,
fake. That's it.
what
There you go.
what other implications does this point to if you're telling me that
There you
research is
go.
starting to show that the quote unquote dinosaurs didn't look like the way they say they look like.
They
So
didn't exist then.
therefore, so there therefore so therefore this replica of the T-Rex skeleton can be modified as being fake because now you can't even tell me with certainty this is how the T-Rex really looks.
They can't even tell you how they made it.
Exactly. So If you can't tell me that, then that puts everything that you say under scrutiny. That's what I was asking. Or did you thought? Or do you think I forgot?
No, but
What was that?
Yeah,
what's
I don't know.
the
That sounds like a
I'm
reach to
not
me. I see where you're
down
coming from, but
around
that's like
like
a
that.
very uneducated reach. It's like these you acting like these
We'll
people don't
ask for
spend
help.
millions of dollars, decades, centuries researching these bones, and they just making shit up. Like, yes, they have
So
said
now,
dinosaurs
when
might have
was the
had
first
fur.
time? When was the first
Okay,
time they
go ahead.
found the
Somebody talk.
bones? When was the first time they found the bones, Apple?
I don't know when the first time they found the bones. I don't know what you want me to give you a year. You want me to give
1950
you a year?
something.
I can give
You
you,
want me to give you? I'm pretty sure
All
way
those
before that.
information matters, though.
I can give you a year when the first time a white man and many other white men started to
I
say
don't
they found
understand.
fossils.
Who cares if it was a white man that found it first?
No,
Who
it
cares?
matters. It matters.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
And
never
I don't
especially
said
live
the
life like that.
dinosaurs are
especially the
real.
white man that it was, it matters.
Nah,
Right.
I don't believe that's always the
It's just
case.
me people.
You do got to be
So,
skeptical, but it is a point when you get so
are
skeptical,
we
you get
saying here that
delusional,
all
and you
these
start making shit up.
dinosaurs fossils that they
I'm like,
found
it
are not
depends.
real?
It
There's
depends.
there's
Okay,
there's
hold
a
on.
I
I
The
think
think
it
Hit him,
Hold
Kay.
depends
on. Can,
on.
can we
99%
get
of them
some
are made up.
order? Can we get some order in here? Like, I
the,
want to hear everybody what y'all got to say, but I can't hear y'all all when y'all all talking at the same time.
the
So
first
whoever want to
Share
bone
the
that
go,
mic,
was
go.
share the mic.
first bone that was discovered was in 1677. It was a femur bone, actually.
Okay.
So are is the debate that is the debate saying that these dinosaurs are fake, or the debater saying that they're real? I
What
want
we're
to
saying
understand.
is, I might what the debate. Well, my
Question I
standpoint
asked was which
is
dinosaurs
yeah.
are you talking about? Or dinosaur? Like I agree. Saber tooth tiger, a few other things, but I'm just saying like the T Rex and all those Brontosaurus. I don't know. Where are they? That's
They
all.
get
The
extinct. They
first, yeah,
died.
it was a
Where the bones?
megalosaurus. That was the name of it. It was the
There was the
femur bone of a
first from what I've known from what I went to school was, the first major piece of rock that fell out the sky and hit the earth kind of killed everything. Am I wrong or right?
killed everything.
Well, that's still
Okay, but
challenging.
also the butterfly existed back then as well as the turtle and everything else. So all these other things survived, but the dinosaurs just said "fuck you" bye.
From what I've read scientifically,
There are still
smaller
dinosaurs still is they though. There are
smaller
still dinosaurs.
organisms
Oh, well, then I'm glad we
survive
all agree
that.
that they were dinosaurs. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
do we all agree that there were
I'm
dinosaurs?
just, I'm just disagreeing. Yeah, I'm just disagreeing on the representation of what a dinosaur is. That's what's called
Okay.
into question here. Not
Okay, right. I, I
necessarily
I
whether
just want to know what's going on. That's
not
all. I
whether
just want to
not
know.
because there
Not
are
doubting
structures
or
that
coming
are
at anybody.
no, there are structures that were built by human beings that
Oh,
don't seem like
sorry.
it was built for your average human being. You're not gonna tell me a set of steps has to be that fucking big for humans. No, it doesn't. You doing this on purpose. This ain't today's construction. You had to go do some shit to make that shit. So you ain't just so the fact that you built it shows that it was needed in some form of fashion. So yeah, certain things were
So
just needed back then. So
either men were on a
Wait one moment. Somebody raised their hand. So
it was
it's getting to that point. Go ahead, Zoe.
Yeah, so the term dinosaur was only coined in 1842. And strangely enough, it's Caucasian men and their philosophies, right? Storytellers. We're still going through storytelling, even with the story of Anne Frank. By the way, Anne Frank's story was fake, by the way. Y'all welcome to look that shit up. Um, the word dinos is Greek words that means terrible or fearful, great, and sorrows is lizard or reptile. So this is nothing much more than what we're doing now. We're doing observation. So he made an observation. And this is theoretical observation, theory, of course. And Once a theory, for those who heard me say this probably months ago, once a theory or a psychology as a theory comes out as an opinion, once it's implemented within a school system or a society, it now becomes a reality because everyone in here was born after the 1800s, was born actually in the 1900s. So it's some of us, it's like we cannot fathom how there were people that didn't believe or didn't know existence of dinosaurs, but we born within that information dinosaurs exist, and none of us going to do the research to find out who was the first person who coined the term, who came out with this philosophy, who came out with this belief, and where it came from, what was the purpose. Most of us is not going to do that. Like at JFF says, well, you have access to this, well, you have access to that, you could also do this, you could also do that. Some of us who want to shut the noise in our head, we go look up the information. And some of us, we're like, I just trust these people and whatever they publish. I will go with that. That is exactly why we're having these arguments. Everybody that knows how to make an observation, that has an opinion of how things should structure, how to cook food, how to add the flavor, you a fucking scientist by nature. That's all science is observation. And whatever you do as far as conduct the research, whatever you do as far as like trying to figure it out, that's the observation itself. And because they put them in foreign words, we think that these words, you need a degree to become a goddamn scientist. When black people been the most scientists since we started. You understand what I'm saying? We start giving powers to people because they are saying shit in different languages, which we fail to look up. And that's why we really believe in a lot of this shit. I believe in dinosaur when I was a kid. I believe in a green man out of space when I was a kid. It bothers me so much. I started doing research and then I'm like, you know what? This was a great story. They got me. My pride is not, my pride is not involved to say, all right, they got me. You know what I'm saying? Then it is what it is. They got most of us. They got all of us. What are you going to do? You going to hold on to that information and assume they're right, or you going to find out for yourself and say, you know what, they got me. Let's go back to the drawing board. That's all I wanted to say, man.
All right, thank you, Joe. Go ahead, Yogi.
Okay, so I would firstly say that yes, due to investigation of various different sources, yes, dinosaurs were real. Dinosaurs are still around. All right, giant lizards are still around. From the Komodo dragon to certain other reptiles, even turtles. But I'll say, and I don't want to be too long, that there is a science to when they do reconstruct a bone. That's not them pulling shit out their ass. I don't think y'all have studied comparative anatomy. I had to write a book on this shit. So the mandible would usually correspond to certain other bone structures. Let's just say they found one bone. So they test this out by looking at numerous thousands of skeletons, seeing how this particular bone, if I found one femur arm at this size, looking at other animals, the other will correspond to this size, and then the other will correspond to this size. So I don't think people have studied comparative anatomy to even give an intelligent answer to say they just made shit up and they're just freestyling all the bones. Do I agree that their reconstructions are accurate? There are high level of accuracies and there are inaccuracies when it comes to the dinosaurs. You understand what I'm saying? But I want to also deconstruct the idea that Europeans came up with this idea of dinosaurs, of giant lizards. If you claim any indigenous tribe from Africa or here, we speak of giant, like even in my tribe, we had a giant bird called Tlanua, or there was a bee called Ulagu that was giant as a wattle, which was a Cherokee house. Yeah, a bee, big as that, right? And I can keep going into that type of stuff. But the point is that indigenous people believe and have stories on giant lizards before Europeans. So when I'm hearing y'all say that Europeans invented the idea of giant lizards and dinosaurs, that's completely false, especially according to indigenous people, right? That have stories of where these people were, where these giants were at, these giant lizards, what happened to them, where they at today. And even science even explains that back then, even with the dragonfly, was 2 feet in length. It was wider. Atmosphere, nitrogen levels were different. So if animals were around back then, yes, there had to be giants. So yes, I agree that all of the reconstructions aren't as accurate as they say. And there's evidence that, like, for example, the T-Rex has a bird respiratory system and is also considered mammalian, contradicting everything that we believe in modern science. So I'm with reconstructing what they put forth, but I would not say that there's no accuracy in their reconstructions because I have carefully, intimately studied comparative anatomy, or what's known as homology. I'll stop there.
All right, thank you.
I couldn't have said it better,
Who's
man.
that?
I'm going to
Nathis?
let
Yeah,
let
Nathis.
Nas go ahead and go because it's like he just broke it down. He's talking. Go ahead, go ahead, Nas. I don't know what to say
So I
after
go,
that.
so I go
Okay, so
back
you
to my question. So I go back to my question, like I said first, because I never said anything. We got into somebody saying something, but I never said anything except what implications does this serve? If if these things is known to be off, what implications? I'm literally asking questions to ascertain more information before I come to a conclusion. So that's why I asked the question. So if you're finding out a lot of these shit is wrong, what further implications do that put scrutiny under the research? Because if this is not right, then that's not right. And if that's not right, then that's not right. Then okay, and if this goes down to even where you group this quote unquote dinosaur that you find this era in, that changes things. So what implications? That is, I don't think that's very difficult. That's not a bad question to ask, because when stuff like this happens, then the next time something like this happens or some information like this comes up, then now I can take into consideration what implications it actually serves versus what I think it may serve. That's why I asked.
okay? Well, Sunshine was next, but she dropped down. She had a phone call, so there's nobody else left. So whoever wants to go can go. Go ahead though.
Yeah, like I stated, dinosaurs is a matter of an opinion, matter of a theory. If you believe in it, then you just believe in it. Nobody have to subscribe to the ideology of dinosaurs. I don't know how that information means anything to me other than the man who invented the word dinosaurs to begin with. He clearly was doing his own observation based for what purpose that he wanted to do that. That information means something to him. He wanted to compare different levels of reptiles and what existed before. That's what that information was to him. Only him could value that word because that information does not do anything for us presently to today. You know what I'm saying? It makes good movies. It makes $1 billion box office movies and shit like that. I mean, if you're writing stories with these type of information, you can make whatever you want. One of the reasons why I find it to be for mainly entertainment purposes is what they did with zombies and movies in Hollywood. As a person that was born and raised in Haiti, the zombie term is something that was taken out of Haiti. The first movie in Haiti that was zombie movies that was made in Hollywood was in 1939 named White Zombies. And a zombie is not a dead person. A zombie is a person that's under a potion that'll make them seem like they're dead, and then they give them another type of drugs to keep them alive so they can control them. You're not dead at all. It has nothing to do with being dead. But what Hollywood turned zombies to today is people that are dead, that are living, the living deads type situation. That goes to show you that this is merely nothing that of a presumption and assumption of people put informations out there. Those who knows, they know. Those who don't know, they like to be presumptuous. That's just all this shit is.
All right, go ahead, Natural.
My son had a question for you. Can you ask him the question? Can you
Oh.
ask Zoe the question? Be very quick and concise with this question. Ask the question.
Why would anybody go that far to fake the existence of dinosaurs?
Zoe, why would they
It's
go that far to
called
fake it?
it's called the person who controls information gets to make people believe anything they want, and that's called power. It's power. It's all about power.
So it's all about power. You heard him. He said, okay. So you got any more questions? It's all power. It's all fake, right? So Zoe, you believe that the dinosaurs was constructed fake history, right? This is all fake bullshit, right?
It, it, it
Why did they do that? Why did they give us a
I
fake dinosaur story?
the
I
same
see what you're
reason
saying.
why they give you fake God to praise. It's all about control.
So all the bones, artifacts, all that stuff is just all orchestrated fakeness, right? You hear this? Son?
Yeah,
You hear this?
yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
hear
That's
what
why
All
they
right.
I
create
might.
that.
All right.
But if you take it under the pretense of what he's actually saying, see, the thing is, under dinosaur logic, yes, but under reptile logic, no. See, and like these are because remember the way that even Yogi put out there the way the natives defined them, it wasn't dinosaur, it was large reptile,
This
Correct.
right?
one.
So the story, the lore of the dinosaur is better for learning purposes than saying big lizard. It's actually better because if you look at it, I take it to Zoe's example about a movie, right? The better franchises are the ones that have the greatest lore behind them. The backstories, the shit that you don't necessarily see on screen, but it translates on screen. Same way with Marvel or whatever else. The lore is so deep. Like One Piece, right? One Piece has been on forever. So the lore of One Piece is so deep, which garners so many fans because of the lore. The lore has a lore. It's easier for me to
Why?
tell a
Why?
story this way and misrepresent the truth than what it
I got
actually
one
is. It's
question.
easier. It's easier for me to do it in that way.
I got one question. Why didn't they just call it enormous reptiles? Why they had to put the name in Greek?
Because that's too
It,
simple, man. There has to
it,
be
it,
there has to be a tag on something. That's too simple. Who's gonna be like, oh, it's just a big reptile, and then it's just a big reptile. If so many of them are so many
Be-
different
Because
ones.
because then
No,
because
so
then
you missing the dark psychology in that whole point. That's called hiding information.
obfuscation is what the
okay,
That's
term
why
so
actually
that's why
term
they
is what
did that.
it's obfuscation.
Okay, so
I
if
will
they name
say, let
them,
me just say,
if they name them dark reptiles, then that means they are real. They're here. Then you just hey,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. The point the lore is wrapped up in the truth. So therefore, what's the
So
truth
that
and what's the
means
lore
large reptile or
gets
not, dinosaurs are real.
yeah. If you want to go the dinosaur route, is what he's saying. I'm just
The
interpreting what
saurus are real. The saurus are real. The dinos
the,
are not.
the dinosaurs are the made up term. That's the story. That's the lore. That's the
Okay,
God in the
that's the lure.
dinosaur.
I
Okay,
think I think you and Nas are saying
I'm
two different
following.
things, though. I think Nas is talking about the technical definition of what these creatures were, and in Zoe, you like none of that shit happened. There was no
Right,
large
that's what
reptilian
Zoe was
creatures.
saying. None of that shit happened. That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
I
they're
said
having they're
I
having two
said
different
the
theories.
first thing
well,
the first thing
well,
I said the first thing I said is yes, technically there are still dinosaurs living. That's the first thing I said before I even started speaking on it. If
Right,
you
I heard that.
actually look it up, because it always starts in a wording. It always starts in a wording. They have to call it something else to make it seem like it's something else because you don't
okay,
speak
so
these languages.
Yeah,
let me just
you don't
say that we must be very responsible when we make conspiracy claims if we're not
Right,
explaining why was the conspiracy
right.
done.
I
If
agree.
if somebody says that they just did it for control, that's still ambiguous. You for control for what reasons?
Control for
And then
what? Yes.
you have to explain significantly why was the impact, why would it be so important for them to hide this
want me to
versus
do.
something in the Vatican, which is very more deeper than goddamn
Oh
bones.
yeah. There we go.
So
No, that's a
I will
topic right
also
there.
say, I will also say that, and as I was camming up and showing, I don't think people study homology or comparative anatomy because the same shit I have on my arm is in the bird, it's in the damn dog, it's in the damn.
Exactly.
So if I find a skeleton or a part of a skeleton, I now have a comparative
Okay.
analysis with all of the goddamn all of the animals. And I know that this bone the phalanges corresponds with this, and at this size, it'll show
I
like
don't.
this, especially it's been showing it. So the point I'm making with
I
this
don't.
long rant is that there's level of accuracy when they do certain levels of reconstruction. Are all of them accurate? No, but
No,
there's
of
accuracy.
course. but that's
You
I
the
agree
point.
you
with you,
you
Quinn.
took you took
And
the
that's
you
why
took the conversation down a rabbit hole. Now you
it's
talking
cool.
about bone
It's
structures and
Yeah,
cool.
shit like that.
yeah. I
It's
want to
cool.
talk these
It's
bones.
cool.
We
I
talking
don't have to.
dinosaurs
I don't
here.
mind because the truth be
If
told, to debate whether or not a large reptile existed or not is dumb. That would be dumb. That would be dumb. Why?
correct.
How so?
Because why would somebody who has no horse in the who no dog in the fucking fight create a term that describes it unless it needed to be described, right? To for the young people or when you're teaching warriors or when you're doing all this tribal stuff in the wood, like this is a whatever they call it. You're not gonna make that up for no reason. A white man in a modern America has reason to make shit up because why? I can sell it. You want to ask me the question of why I can sell it? I can literally corrupt. I can corrupt truth from truth with fiction. You're gonna call it a dinosaur. Yeah, so much so that even so much so that your average person is not gonna call this Animalia,
A large reptile.
Chordata, Reptilia, Dinosauria,
Yeah,
Speak Latin.
Sorcetia,
right,
Theropoda. Nobody's gonna say
right.
that shit. They're gonna
Hell
use
no.
lore, dinosaur, T-Rex. We finna shorten this shit up. We finna add some colloquialisms around this bitch. And the story of the colloquialism is more prominent than the actual science behind the fucking reptile. And
Oh
that's
man,
the
and if we
truth.
follow that, then so many things then are is an alluring factor. Then do you believe that the first
Sunshine, I
man,
got
woman,
you.
Earth
You
Sunshine
go
on
had her
Earth
after
hand up.
was
him.
black?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah,
I
say
don't.
that.
I might
Do
guess
you
what?
believe that
Sunshine had her
I might.
hand up.
Adam
Hold
and
on.
Eve
Wait a
was
minute.
You
Wait a
black?
push
minute. Wait a minute.
you
Wait a
moving the
minute.
goalpost, bro. You
Sunshine
moving
But
had
the
her
when you
hand up.
do
goalpost,
this,
bro.
hold on. Wait a minute. See,
Hold
this
on
is
one
what you're.
second. Hold
These
on
are the
one second.
implications of what you're saying.
Hold on one second, because Sunshine had her hand up and she dropped off, but now she's in the blinds. Sunshine, can you come out of the blinds?
I think she went extinct
Sunshine
like
in
the
the kitchen.
dinosaurs.
Okay,
She went
there she
extinct
Oh,
like
she
that.
Yeah.
back.
I
She
gotta
back.
okay.
Okay. What? So one, right? What defines a dinosaur and makes a dinosaur a dinosaur? I just started looking up some dinosaur facts, and it was saying that dinosaurs don't exist in the water. Um, it also gave the hip difference. That's why there's two different kinds of dinosaurs. And what else? It was a whole bunch of shit. I'm gonna raise my hand again, and come back
Be
because I
careful.
had some more
Let
questions.
me simplify.
Dilophosaurus,
Let
when
me
it was growing, you're
simplify.
talking to
We
someone
just
who
gonna have
knows
to go there,
herpetology.
Yogi.
Well, I
Let me
don't mind you
simplify.
all just talking,
Get ready,
but
guys.
it's not going to work without raising hands because people talk over people.
So
Can I
okay,
tell? Can I tell
go ahead,
Sunshine
voice.
the meaning of the basic? I don't
I
want to
was just,
talk for more than 20
oh, Sunshine,
seconds.
Sunshine is back. It looked like she wants to say something. Let's see what. Finish up, Sunshine.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead. Y'all could do y'all thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
come
make
back
I'm gonna
in.
Sunshine,
make
the
a
word.
list. I'm gonna make the
Let me give the
list.
word. Let me give the words to Sunshine real quick. To 10 seconds. The words dinos is Greek words for terrible or fearful great. The word saurus is another Greek word for lizard or reptile. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, voice.
I think when you start saying certain things, you have to understand the revert. Like you have to be able to reverse engineer the shit to make sure it makes sense. Because with dinosaur, I can do that. I can reconstruct and deconstruct the language. It's all semantical at best, right? But the semantical argument is what leads the conversation. You don't call a T-Rex. You don't call it Tyrannosaurus Rex. All those other names that actually describe what it is. It's like literally trying to categorize something and then you say it out of category and because that's what you believe, that's what it is. That ain't the way it works. But with dinosaurs, there's so much lore added to it because of the popular movies. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, and they tell you in Jurassic Park that the DNA of these animals have been tampered with. They tell you that in the movie. But yet and still, everything that's representative of a T-Rex on there is what the T-Rex shows over here, which is a lie. It's not because now you're telling me that these dinosaurs don't look like this; they look like something else. So these are what you think they look like. So these are a representation of what you think the person that's discovering this thinks. Yes, because do you really know? Because do we have any natives or anybody who ran into a T-Rex to fucking testify what a T-Rex actually looked like? What a megalosaurus looks like? Can we really find that? Yeah, no. That's okay. And it's okay if we don't know. We know this type of animal existed, but not the type that we glorify. It's the same way with a god or gods or whatever you want. I'm like the science behind the god is way more complex than your mythos. And no, and it seems like mythos somehow just don't work. That ain't what I'm like. Yes, it is, because a lot of the stuff until you verify it is mythology of what
So,
someone who told
oh,
you
how do you put up your
believe
hand?
until it's proved.
How you raise your hand?
Click the smiley face and you'll see the little white hand in there.
It's proven, and that's what it is, and that goes directly into what Sunshine was saying about with her questions about what do you call a dinosaur, right? And that's what it comes down to. If this is what a dinosaur is, okay, well, when I go down the whole little thing, it don't even say dinosaur isn't even alluded to. It's other stuff. So where do we get dinosaur from?
Are you
I learned.
finished, voice?
I learned. Yeah, I learned.
Okay. Go ahead, Sunshine. She in the blind again. Oh, there she go.
Yeah, I just put some things like because y'all was we talking about dinosaurs, and I was asking that because I was saying like when I first asked that question, I asked because like I get that different things are dinosaurs like the crocodiles, et cetera, right? And a majority of these things that we look at as called to be dinosaurs, they can live over 50 years, right? And I put some stuff like we got all these different insects, blah blah blah, pine woods, redwoods, da 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 da, right? But the thing is that everything got knocked off when we had this so-called asteroid that hit, except for the everything got knocked off. I mean, the dinosaurs got knocked off, but some things still exist. Like, how could this really be? And when we begin to look at all of these dinosaur bones, like of these big dinosaurs, none of them are 100% complete. And if we look at where majority of the dinosaurs existed, they claim that they existed around like waterland areas or waterlogged areas, right? But also like Niger has has dinosaurs, right? And they have a large percentage of dinosaurs in Africa. But they're probably the only place that has 95% completion on a dinosaur bone. But where's the dinosaur? No one is yet to see it. And all the dinosaurs I've ever seen, I know I'm ranting, all the dinosaurs I've ever seen, I've never seen one that has been completed, no matter where I've seen it around the world. That's all I was saying. That's what I was getting to when I'm done.
All
Prazi, you don't
right.
have to keep raising your hand because I put a list in the comments. You just got to pay attention to the list in the comments. But go ahead, Yogi. Thank you,
All right.
Sunshine.
Here comes the giant asteroid to destroy you niggas that want to be anti-dinosaur, right? So Sunshine said she's yet to see a dinosaur. What is a Komodo dragon? Okay, so moving on from that.
No, I said dinosaur bones. I
Well,
did
wait a
not say
So
it. I
wait a minute.
so
Wait
agreed
a minute.
that the Komodo
so
dragon was
so
a dinosaur. Hold on. See, I
oh
Wait.
damn,
agreed
now
that.
I'm
I'm
getting
talking about big dinos, Yogi. The ones that we see in the museum, like the Drexler, and we see over in the planetarium and a few other places that I've seen
so
dinosaurs.
let me
Big
Well,
dinos,
so let me
let him finish,
not the ones
please.
that's
God
walking
damn it.
around.
God damn it. My shit triggering like that. All right, so here's watch this. Here's the asteroid, right? And actually that's been debunked. Asteroid, if that's a claim, I would just say, I won't say debunked, I would say there's studies challenging that it was actually volcanic lava that led to the destruction of the dinosaurs versus that the asteroid that hit. That's why, where are the dinosaur bones in the Galapagos archipelago? Y'all don't even know these organs. I don't think y'all study dinosaurs. I used to love dinosaurs. I know the names, Spinosaurus aegypticus. I know the names of these dinosaurs. I love them. So here's my question, right? For those who don't believe in dinosaurs, because I'm about to end it here. For those who believe dinosaurs didn't exist, right? Show me a study from an academic accredited institution that concludes dinosaurs were not real. Can anybody produce that? I'll mute up now. Here comes the asteroid, because y'all gonna dance around it. Y'all gonna think you can get around this asteroid, or this volcanic eruption. Y'all about to go extinct. Somebody show evidence. I'm muting up.
All right, thank you, Yogi. Go ahead, Krasby.
Well, first of all, this is very intriguing. I like it that there's a lot of intellectual black folks on this panel right now. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Extinction level events. We just had one. Well, we didn't just had one, a couple of million years ago. There is a big ass crater that's still on the face of the planet that goes to show that something fucking big hit this place. And with an extinction level event, it's not everything that's gonna go, but there are certain that are definitely that's gonna be extinct. Now, after that event happened, it's the smaller animals, mammals, whatever you might call it, survived that event. The larger ones were wiped out. So, hence, once again, all these bones all over the place. I can't see somebody just making up a billion bone structures and just scatter them all over the world, and then just say, hey, we just found some bones, and we think it belongs to something that was definitely bigger than us. My question is this. If those bones were actually found and which are being displayed in places, why cannot it be believable if there are smaller versions of those things running around Earth now?
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay. Go ahead, voice.
Okay, because I think people come. I'm like, okay, going back to what I said at first, and I know nobody alluding to the fact that giant lizards, reptiles, whatever you want to call them, exist. But there's a reason. But there's a reason why I say dinosaur lore, because you don't necessarily, because the only qualifying thing for you to be a dinosaur is you have to have upright limbs and live on land during the Mesozoic era, 225 and 60, 225 to 66 million years ago, according to paleontologists. So there goes some science for your ass. So therefore,
for real,
if the arms of this bitch is out to the sides, like on alligators, crocodiles, even what's that, Komodo dragons? Because Komodo dragons don't stand upright like dinosaurs. Technically, that's not a dinosaur, because it don't stand upright. It may have lived during that time, but it don't have the upright stance. I'm like, this is just for the actual speed. No, it's sprawled out. The arms are along the sides, and they literally say this on why dinosaurs are dinosaurs. That's why I say dinosaur mythos, because you see now you're adding other things as dinosaurs that don't qualify as them either. But this is the science. This is the way the science defines them. So technically, like I said, dinosaur is a mythos. It's a label. So that label carries history. And with that history, it can convolute the truth. You can try to say I'm wrong, but that's somebody else's version of this quote unquote animal, this quote unquote reptile, this quote unquote thing. That's somebody else's observational path of the thing. It still is that. It's not saying that they didn't exist or they didn't, because what do you call, because who's the observer of the times if it's an extinction level event? Who's there to observe the extinction level event? Nobody's there, apparently. They can read and write and the rest of this.
Cavemen were around.
So
cavemen were around.
Cavemen
wrote that on on
so
walls.
how do the cavemen survive an extinction level asteroid hit?
Because there were smaller being than those bigger ones.
So you're saying little people. So little people would have survived the extinction level event over average size.
And that's
humans.
what happened. Smaller insects,
Well,
smaller
wait a minute,
everything
We're not
survived that.
gonna do it back and forth. I'll put you back
No,
on the list.
I'm not doing it
Krasby.
back and
Let
forth.
him
I'm
go.
sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, boy.
But that's all I'm pointing toward. That's all I'm saying. The dinosaur has its own, because that's not even what the indigenous people call it. But you have to include that history because we know what they're alluding to. This is a myth. This is another mythos of the dinosaur.
Man, I don't
So
understand.
it's just the way you observe a dinosaur will determine which observational look you would have. If you're looking at it from a native standpoint, you will call it this. If you look at it from a Latin standpoint, you would call it this. But it still remains the same fucking thing. Not what you call it in your culture, but what it actually is. That's just the way you observe it. You observe the dinosaur observation theory. That's exactly what it is. That's what you want it to be because that's what box you want to put it in. But when you go to the thing, it tells you a lot of this shit don't stand up right, so they don't even qualify. So dinosaurs are even more extinct than what you think.
What if this was
Because
God's first mistake?
Hold on 1 second. Were you finished though?
yeah, I'm
I
done.
mean, not Zoe, voice.
I'm done.
Okay, go ahead, Zoe.
Telling the truth and a lie is the best recipe for money making and controlling the future. Telling the truth and a lie. If we tell you the truth, you're more receptive. Then we mix that with a little bit of lie, and I say I have a degree. I work with such and such group of people. That's feasible. We'll accept that. I mentioned that all of this is made for controlling, for power. Let me expound on that. um, AIDS, there's a cure for AIDS. There's cures for cancer that's out here. Cure for AIDS, I believe, that was founded in the late 80s. Cure for cancer, I believe it was there. I believe the Rockefeller funded the cancer foundation after they found out his method was causing cancer. He created a foundation, and that foundation prevent people from exposing that his method was causing it. So the same guy, you know what I'm saying, which is pretty much a conflict of interest. So, so my guy, I forgot his name. I'm gonna call you Quinn. He said, he said, why haven't scientists come out and tell? Why haven't the mainstream science people come out and tell the public that none of this is real? Why would they do that? It's a $1 million industry. You are science in that field. You're a mainstream scientist in that field. There are hundred thousands and millions that you can make, to get funding on these dinosaurs expedition. There's a lot of money in there. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? You know what I'm saying? That's like expecting the AIDS people, the AIDS and cancer research people that are making billions in fundings to come out and say, we find the cure. Hold your millions and hold your billions. We don't want your billions anymore. We're gonna come out and say we got the cure. Why would they do that? It's all about control. Why would they do that? All of us in here know that would be foolish.
They're gonna let it die
Why would
before
they
they
do
kill
that?
it. They're gonna let it die before they kill it. They're gonna let it go on and
Exactly.
on until they kill it.
You saying that you want the same people that created the lie to come out and tell you the truth? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm done.
Well, AI is gonna fix all that, right, Nas?
Okay, go ahead, Crazy.
Oh no, I didn't have I didn't
Yeah,
have nothing to say. I'm listening. I'm here listening.
Oh, I put you on the list because you was
you did
interrupting.
raise your hand. Yeah, you did raise
I'm
your hand
listening.
too.
No, he.
But I thought I
Uh,
seen it in maybe that was all.
yeah, a while ago he did. Go ahead, voice.
But I'm not. It's not even fixing anything. Why would I need to fix it when the language in which it's programmed on is the trick language that you're programmed on? So both of y'all just leading each other. That's the blind leading the blind, ain't it? Unless you have the wherewithal to train something to do something different, or to train yourself to look at the world differently, not what they present it to you to be. If Mike, if you mean to tell me questioning whether something is what something is called and why, the game was played in that first. We didn't even get to the definition necessarily. We're talking about what you identified as. That's where we're gonna start the fucking game at. And then the game gets more complex because that leads you down rabbit holes and off kilter and a world of fucking obfuscation every time. Because then now, because I'm like, I have yet to hear somebody use their scientific name, but yet we're using science to prove our points. You just gonna call it a T-Rex. That's what you want to call it, but that ain't what science calls it, does it? What science calls it? Use that term. Because that gets away from the mythos and sticks to the facts. Oh, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. You want to call it that. It's more easier. So you fight for the convenience over the truth. And and isn't that the game? Everything is more convenient, costs more, right? That's what they do. Zoe has a point. You have a point. But I think both you guys are right. I think, yes, both can be true at the same time. I can hide the truth while also monetizing it. What does it matter to you if they give $17 billion to dinosaur research? What does that matter to you? You don't care about dinosaurs outside of a conversation. You don't. You're not a paleontologist. That wasn't what you went to school for. You didn't decide to seek out that grant money, but now someone else has it. Now their research is going to be scrutinized because they're European, and you never even had the intention to even go in the damn field. This is what black people do. This is what we do. You never have intentions on doing any of this shit, but we scrutinize it. You're gonna scrutinize it, but you're not gonna scrutinize the fact of the matter is that it truly ain't a dinosaur. That's what you want to call it. That's your placeholder. Fine, but understand just a placeholder. It's not the truth. That's it.
All right, thank you, boys. Sunshine, go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to point out that was a good point. That's like I never looked at it like
Thank
that
you, better
before.
me.
His original given name, the dinosaur's original given name, versus the stage name in which is given later on. They never go by the original name. That's a good point. You can look at that like Hollywood. I did want to just ask all the people on the panel, a yes or a no.
Uh-oh.
Did you believe in dinosaurs when you were young? Did dinosaurs help to foster your imagination? I'm curious. Yes or no? Simple. Yes or
Man,
no?
hey,
Yep.
watch your mouth about Barney, man. Watch your mouth. All right.
A land before time. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? A
What?
land
Well,
before time? Are you
Littlefoot,
serious?
Petrie, Spike, Sharptooth.
I
I'm
still
just
believe.
What about the one that had
Watch
the
your mouth about
dinosaur?
Baby
The
Bob.
dinosaur that had the little baby, that had the little baby in the feeding chair with the diaper on and the
Not
yellow
the
Oh,
t-shirt.
mama, not the mama,
remember
not
the
the
movie? Hey,
mama.
knock the mama, knock the mama, knock the mama.
I have
Exactly.
one. I have one of those. That's who you see when you enter my house. I got the original one sitting on my couch.
Oh, didn't Gullah Gullah Island have dinosaurs too? Didn't Gullah Gullah Island have dinosaurs too? I'm just saying all this stuff. Like, see, now look,
Fred
I
and
make a lot
Dino.
of money. Who is matter of fact, a story about kids who's their favorite character? Reptar.
Oh man.
Reptar.
Actually, I've not
Rugrat.
looked into that
That's
industry out
Rugrats.
how much. I'm about to look how much how much millions or billions that industry racks. Let me look that up. Because the
Matter of fact, hold up.
zombie industry
Godzilla,
is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
but it's
Oh, the
not bigger than
space
Godzilla.
industry. Space industry is
Not,
raking it all in. And do you believe we went to the moon?
but
Uh-huh.
first off, remember this though. You don't get Power Rangers without Godzilla.
That's right.
You
That's a
don't get
fact.
Power
That's a
Rangers
fact.
without
None of
That's
Godzilla.
a fact.
none of
Oh,
that is
That's a
possible.
good one.
because remember, Remember, the Godzilla style cartoons, animations, they're their own genre.
Sure.
That's Godzilla. That is a whole genre itself. That style of movie is its whole genre that refers back to Godzilla every time. So you gonna tell me dinosaurs don't make money? That's one of the top draw in the Asian markets.
Top draw.
It's Godzilla. Why do you think Godzilla versus King Kong is so big? Y'all forgot that out? You got Godzilla and King Kong throwing hands. Because King Kong is what? Godzilla. Just a monkey.
And King Kong's still around. He's known as a silverback.